we get an abridged version of computer history, including computers and astronomy. The world's first all-electronic computers, as opposed to the computers made of rocks and bamboo, were made in the United States at the end of World War II. These computers contained thousands of vacuum tubes, resistors, capacitors, and switches, and required a room-sized space. Doom was hard to play in those days. You had to fill out like 10 punch cards in order to shoot your pistol. Number 10. There were computers that weren't electronic. Back in my review of the Tandy computer Whiz Kids Fit to Win comic, I mentioned a bit at the end of the comic where there's a brief history lesson about computers. Specifically, the line mentioned that the first all-electronic computers were made in the United States. The world's first all-electronic computers, as opposed to the computers made of rocks and bamboo. Since I wouldn't have the job I have today if not for computers, I should probably have been more up to date with my computer knowledge. People pointed out that they were probably referring to mechanical machines called Babbage engines. Charles Babbage, a mechanical engineer in the late 1800s, attempted to create several machines called difference engines and analytical engines that could be used to do mathematical figures faster than humans at the time, who were referred to as computers. While Babbage never successfully created any of his devices in his lifetime, his blueprints and ideas were very similar to modern computers, and some were able to create working versions of his ideas in the early 1990s. I've got one better for you, though. The comic says that the first electronic computers were made in America, but actually the first programmable electronic computer was made in England during World War II, a device called Colossus that helped decode Nazi communications. So yeah, history is fascinating and I suck for getting it wrong. But then again, so did the comic.